it seems like we have hit the hour, everybody. I wanted to thank all of you guys for being here right now. I believe so. If there's anybody who is currently expected to debate and has messaged Chessify, by all oh god, there's a lot of people pouring in right now.
Holy
Hello,
shit.
everybody.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of people pouring in. So, please, if you guys are supposed to be up here, but you are not up here right now, and Chessify has messaged you, please message him or myself, and we can get you up on stage. I think I see some people in the audience who are supposed to be up here. But yeah, just message Chessify and we can get you added up. But
Or just
yeah,
raise your hand.
yeah, or just raise your hand as well. That works too. Please, by all means, I mean, if you actually have been asked, then by all means, please do so. But
Yeah.
all right, we'll start this off. Hi everybody. My name is Citrus Gender. I will be your debate host today for as well. And Wriggle says you can ping him too. I did this last year, and I did this with Armhuan, but I'm gonna be doing this year with myself as a host. But I'm gonna be having Chessify here, my good friend, here to help me out with everything else as well, and he'll effectively be my co-host. And he's gonna be the bad cop today. So I'm gonna be the good cop today, and he's gonna be the bad cop today. So when it comes to the debate, we always try to make sure that everyone gets enough time to talk to people, and everyone gets enough time to make sure that they're being heard. So by all means, I want to encourage you guys to be civil, and I want to encourage you guys to not cut off people very very rapidly, because the thing about it is, we're all nice fun community right here. So that's me. I've been a game master here with TG Station for a few years. I was elected in the player vote however many years ago as well, so I know this whole shebang. But I'm removed from all this type of debate and election type stuff, so I get to watch you guys and make sure that you guys are keeping it civil. Just a few things. Yeah, we'll be doing the first question pretty soon, so you hang in tight right here as well. And I'll knock it over to Chess so he can talk about himself and he can talk a little bit more about the debate today.
Hi there, I am Cheshify. I am the event lead for this situation and this scenario. I'm mostly here to be making sure the rules and the itinerary are stuck to. They are currently pinned in the chat that you guys are oh so wonderfully spamming with memes right now. Basically, there'll be two types of questions. The questions and the actual debates. We're going to start off with some questions. It's pretty easy. You're going to have about 60 to 90 seconds to speak and offer an answer to any given question. You're only allowed to speak when you're called, so don't be speaking over anyone else. Of course, beforehand, you'll be given a minute or two to think about, how you're going to answer the questions. So, if you're feeling like you know what you want to say, you can go ahead and just request politely to speak first. Though the interesting part of questions is that we're not allowing you to respond to another candidate's answer, otherwise that would just be a debate. So you're answering the question for yourself, not answering what someone else's answer to the question was, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah. It's gonna be the nice stuff first. So we're gonna be all pleasant to each other first. We're not gonna interrupt each other. And please don't, because if you do, then then good cop might become bad cop, and we don't want that because that's bad. So this will be fun. This will be civil. I really like the democracy that we have here in TG Station. It's honestly some of the best stuff, and I feel like we have a really good system of electing people here. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think first off, traditionally during some of the last debates that we had, we traditionally like to introduce everybody, and we like to go down the list and give people like I don't know, 60 to 90 seconds to introduce themselves. But we're gonna be a little bit less stringent than last time. I feel like last time we kind of cut people off with a hard cut, but at the same time, I just want to say, like, once we get to a certain like 60, 90 seconds right there, there'd be like a soft cutoff. So just finish your thought and then end it. No run-on sentences, please. So I think that's it. Chesh, Wriggle, let me know if I'm missing anything here. No,
There
yes.
is one thing.
Okay.
We need to get onto the introductions. I had asked every single
Yes.
candidate that is arriving to prepare something for themselves.
Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah. So we'll do the introductions first right here. So I see the list a specific way. You guys might see the list a specific way, but I will call on everyone to talk about themselves, and we will go down the list for the next starting part right here. So we'll see if there's any microphone problems here right now, but we'll find out, and we'll start off with the top of my list. It would be Stereo. Introduce yourself, everybody.
Okay, so I'm Stereo. Awkward Stereo is my C key because Stereo was already taken, and I'm very upset about that. I showed up about I'm a few months shy of having been around for 2 years. I think about 6 6 months after I first showed up, I was picked up by Wubbly as an admin candidate, and I spent the next 8 months actually being an admin, and then 2 months after that, just waiting to retire because I was really fucking tired. Hi. I can't say hi to all of you. I'm fucking talking right now. You'll have to excuse me if I swear a lot. It was a part of my upbringing. My father was an enlisted man, so some things, for better and for worse, have rubbed off on me. Yeah, and I'm running for head admin because a few things happened that really fucking pissed me off, and I don't get anything done unless I'm really angry and pissed off. So, you may continue. That is all.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for that, Stereo. All right. We'll move on next to Keith. Keith Fort. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, hello. There we go. Sorry,
Yes,
my
yeah, you're good.
mic
Go for
wasn't
it.
working for some reason. Hey guys, I'm Key4. I am the kind of LLP candidate. I like to view myself as such. The reason I'm running is because I'm not necessarily very happy with how decisions have gone. I'm not happy with some of the bad appeals that I've seen, and I'm not necessarily happy with the direction of policy and the way that things are being enforced necessarily. I feel like that we're moving to a more to kind of more forced roleplay where you're not allowed to do a lot of stuff because it goes against some arbitrary rulings that don't necessarily make the game more fun. In terms of what I would like to see for an ideal TG station, I would love to see a more free station, a station where we have a rule that is stay in character. And as long as you stay in character, you're able to do more things because we are a roleplay game and we shouldn't be bound by a lot of goofier rules that stop us from roleplaying. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
you.
Keith. Thank you so much. Let's see. All right, I guess we'll skip Chesh and Wriggle, and we'll move on to Nameless. Nameless, you can message either in the Headman debate thread, or you can message me, or you can message Chess, and we can talk for you as well. So I know that. Let me think. We can also come back to you, Nameless, as well afterwards. Because I know you might need a second. So just say yes or no if you want us to come back to you, Nameless. Okay. Yes. All right. Cool. So I'll read this. So Nameless says, "Hello, I'm Nameless Fairy, Morgan Robinson on Terry, non-mic user. So have fun with that. Been playing for a little under 3 years. Admin for little under 2, and I was headman about a year ago, which is correct. Part 2 is being typed right now." And just to put in perspective, Nameless, he'll be the 4th on the list, or the 3rd on the list every time, because that's where you are on my list right now. So it's all good. We'll give them a second. Obviously, starting off right here, we might be a little bit more stringent with the time, just because we want to make sure that everybody gets an instance to be able to talk, and that's fine, though, starting off right now. Do we have any other non-mic users as well? Chesh, do you remember?
Oh, we have a number of non-mic users, and I believe Nameless is the only one to show up.
Okay, I got you. So Nameless is the only one putting in the effort right there as non-mic user. Because, everyone knows that whenever you go into a Discord, there's a voice chat general, like thread, and that's for those types of people that have to talk like that. And that's great because we love having those people who don't use their microphone on the server because they always have
All
a
right.
lot of very nice things to say.
Let's
In
see
sh-
if Nameless has
I got it right
something.
here. In short, during my term, I was very focused on getting everything actually done, and I don't think the last terms have done that very well. So I'm running again. Thank you so much,
Lovely.
Nameless. That's very, very good. Let's see. So just put that in perspective, Nameless. You'll be the 3rd person going down the list. So if you ever want to prepare your messages before they get to you, that will make it a little bit easier for us. It'll make it a little easier for everyone. So just copy paste it and send it to me and Chess. And if you want me or Chess to say it, we can definitely say it for you. And you can also post it in here so everyone can see it. So thank you so much. Hey, that's me. Picture me.
Hey, Ian's next.
Ian, go ahead.
Hi there, my C key's Ian Zero. I play Bob Stange on Terry, mostly as Chief Medical Officer with a bit of a background in engineering. I've been playing since sort of mid-2019, became an admin early to mid-2021, so getting up to 2 years soon. Got about 2,000 hours playing as a medic mostly, and 3,000 admining. Handled tons of tickets. I'd like to think that I have a good approach most of the time, and good rationalization for my decisions and stuff, as well as applying a lot of time, and I intend to bring that to the headman position, hopefully.
Awesome.
Nice and quick.
Thank you so much, Ian. We'll move on to Timber Pose. You're next, bud.
Thanks. So yeah, I'm Timber Pose. Been around about 3 years or so. I was the host vote headman last term alongside Mothblocks and Melbert, which was really fun. Main thing that I did during that term was the full MRP rule rewrite project. I didn't manage to get it finished, but I passed it on to this term. And this term managed to get that implemented earlier this week, which was freaking amazing to see. Basically was also around the community in general, so on Discord, forums, and policy discussions, appeals, complaints, that whole palaver. I don't really consider myself MRP or LRP brained. To me, the best version of Space Station 13 is a healthy mix of roleplay, freedom, mystery, and murder. So all the best parts of the game, really. My platform's pretty community focused. Big emphasis on visible, active headman work, promoting honesty, integrity, transparency, fairness, all that bollocks in community interaction.
Well, thank you
So
very much.
thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Timber. And we'll move on currently to Rave Radberry. Introduce yourself to everybody today.
Hi, my name's Rave. I've been around since 2019. I'm just finishing up a headman term as the admin vote. About a year ago, I was headman for the player vote. Most of my focus as admin has been about moving things around and improving the community so that we can increase our potential audience. I'm the one who spearheaded MRP streaming. I just got LRP streaming done. I set up the community content channel and got a lot of our lovely YouTubers registered so that they can get their content in front of more eyes, which will in turn hopefully extend reach. My plan for this upcoming term is to start with more active recruitment of content creators out there, getting them into the game, getting them onto our servers and making content about our servers. I think we're the best code base. I want to make sure that we stick around. I want to make sure that with changes like SS14, we remain relevant.
Time.
And, the Seth tide was an amazing
Just let
thing
him-
for us. And we need that again, or we're just going to dry up. That's it.
There you go. A little bit
Thank you
over
so
there.
much, Rave. No, yeah, it's good. Yeah, there is. I think it's 1 minute, right? Right, Josh?
We're going for 70 seconds now.
Okay, 70 seconds. Awesome. Cool. All right. I wish for ducks. Go ahead.
Yo, what's up? I'm Dux. You can take a guess as to why my name is what it is. I've been playing for around 2 years or so. I started on Bagel, then moved on to Manuel for a good year and a half before I finally started playing both Sybil and Manuel. I play as Bugger, the blue-winged moth. So if you see me around, make sure to say hi. I like meeting new people. Anyhow, my platform focuses on the absence of admins in game, especially during high pop, because I feel like that's a huge problem. All right, that's it.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. All right. And I believe that leaves CMDR Gugnir. You're at the last person, and let us learn a little bit about you today.
Hi, I'm Gungnir, the CMDR short for Commander. Not really relevant to my platform, but I'm generally running on a platform of thinking that the best part of Space Station 13 is the stories we create. Everyone knows about that time that the Nukis fucked up and died in 30 seconds, but a lone trader managed to hijack their ship, take it back to get the nuke codes, and set off the nuke themselves. It's shit like that we love. It's times when maybe a non-antag had a project that got a little bit out of hand, but we all remember it. That's the kind of thing I like, and that's the kind of thing I aim to enhance. Outside of that, I plan to ideally see if I can get a role added for admins of hiatus, so that inactive admins who are feeling a bit burnt out can take some time off without feeling like they're going to need to hope they can get re-admined when they're back, or to need to go through retraining when they were only gone for 3 months. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much.
All right. That's everybody so far, I believe. We'll see if we have anybody else who might be joining a little bit late as well, but we might be having some late entries, so just be on the lookout for that, and we'll see. They might get pushed in the list, and I'll let anybody know if that changes, because we did have somebody come in late last time, if I remember correctly. All right. So that brings us to the first part of the debate. Just as a reminder, we are going to be doing the debate as such. We're going to be starting off with our questions and responses that people say. And then after the questions and responses, people are going to not be talking over each other. And then we're going to be talking about the debates. So that's when people are going to be able to respond, but we don't want each debate going over about 5-6 minutes as well. So we'll talk a little bit about that later. So, and then after that, if we have a little bit of time at the end, we'll have some community questions as well. So keep your eyes ready, keep your eyes peeled for community questions. Think of something really smart, because if you get a meme answer, if you do a meme question like about lay dog or whatever, I'm just gonna ban you and just gonna kick you, and you're just never gonna come back if you ask about the dog. I'm not joking. You're gone.
I thought I was the bad cop.
Sorry. Anyways, yeah. So we're gonna start off somewhere in the list right here as well, and we're going to be going over a few of these questions. We're gonna be over a few of these questions right here. So the first questions, starting off, is one that was sent to me by Chess. I believe the question was, "What got you interested in the position of headman? Why run this year?" I think that's one, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
one.
that's just the one question.
So we're gonna go down the order very, very similarly as we did before, and we'll start off with what is it, 90 to 60 seconds, or what are we doing, Chesh? I just want to make sure I keep it
We'll
consistent.
do 70 seconds.
We'll do 70 seconds. Okay, cool. So 70 seconds, soft ending. So please finish your thought. No run-on sentences, or else we'll crack down on a little more. But yeah, we'll start off with you, Stereo.
Could you repeat the question real quick?
Yes, absolutely. So the question is, what got you interested in the position of headman? Why run this year? Go ahead.
Okay, I want to be completely transparent. Half of what I really want is to just be a game master. Do 6 months as a headman, fucking step on glass, step on Legos. I can live with that, so long as at the end of it, I become a game master, can fuck off and do whatever I want. Second part, just as maybe a little bit less important, there were some decisions made in headman review during a couple ban appeals that I really didn't like. And I just thought they were unfair to players in a way that didn't really make sense with how things logically progress over the course of hundreds and hundreds of rounds. Specifically talking about the some people who are in the know will know the ERT incident, and specifically there was another issue where two sitting headmans, and I really have nothing against you guys personally, but the decision to actively state in a headman review that you were biased against an appellant really fucking pissed me off, because that's not something that I think should be seen from a head admin.
10
And
seconds.
if you do want to have that, shut the fuck up and don't say it.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we'll have to cut you off there, Stereo, but thank you for your response. We'll move on to Keith. Keith 4. I'll repeat the question one more time for you as well. The question was, what got you interested in the position of headman? Why run this year?
Hello, thank you for the question. To be fair, I think Stereo has made some very good points about unsatisfactory answers. I do not feel that a lot of the decisions made are necessarily in the best interest of the players. I feel like headmans have a tendency to kind of stay away from drama and to shove everything under the rug, when I believe that the best way to deal with these situations is to address them directly. Furthermore, I'm somewhat of an opposite to Stereo. I will do an active 6 months where I hopefully push myself into policy, into ban appeals, and try and really slap all of that out. And then after the 6-month period, I will retire because I do not want to be an inactive game master. Sorry, I just want to play the game as a normal player, as I have been for the last years. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that response, Keith. We'll move on next to Nameless. You can message me or Chesh, and I'll give you the response right. And I'll
While they're writing that one out, if they don't have it already pre-written, we could go on and get someone else up.
that's fine. Okay. Ian, you can move on, and I'll wait for a Nameless to respond in the meantime.
Sure. I think I've two things make me interested in the position. Firstly, I see myself as a fairly neutral candidate. We've had a very interesting platform, a lot of things that I want to change, and more just sort of riding on the back of my own work and hopefully being able to use that in a productive way at the top. I guess personally, I'm also interested in getting a deeper insight into things, which obviously you would get if you serve in that position. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ian. Let's see. Yeah, you can message me Nameless whenever you're ready for that as well. We'll move on to Timber. Timber, you can go ahead.
Thanks. So obviously I've done the whole headman shtick before. I know what it's all about. Effectively, I've strongly disagreed with multiple decisions this year. I've done my best to mitigate the impact of those decisions through sort of strong advocacy within the community, but I'm dissatisfied with the headman team's approach to the community as well. For me, as a headman, I need one less vote to be able to change and influence those things that have been annoying me. So here I am running again.
Thank you so much, Timber, for that response. We'll move on to Rave Radberry next.
Pretty much similar thing as Timber. When you're in the room, there's one less person to win over. There are just a number of things that you can get done faster when you have Headman bus access. Like, I got the community content channel put up in like 15 minutes from inception to approval, and part of that was because I could just go and get it done, and have one fewer person to convince. Also, a lot of people seem to like me doing Headman work, so I'm offering people who would like to see me do another term the opportunity to vote for me. That's pretty much the long and short of it. Got stuff to do, gonna do it, even if I don't get Headman. So keep an eye on the future, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
I'm going to be reading out Nameless's response.
Yes.
Nameless Fairy, in response to the question, says, partially covered this in my intro. My term had a near 100% policy response coverage and a generally quicker response rates to appeals and complaints. Neither of the two previous terms have come close to that, with sizably less total threads to respond to. Ban appeals and complaints suffered from similarly poor response rates. Basically, I got fed up with the slow response rates over the last two terms, so I want to try and pick up the pace again like I did during my term.
Awesome.
Thank you, Nameless.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nameless, for that. We'll move on to I Wish for Ducks. Tell us a little bit about you.
So what got me interested in running was, well, first off, I think it'll be a lot of fun. I've been wanting to admin for a while again. I mean, I'll be applying for admin if I don't get voted in regardless. But also, I just don't agree with a lot of the headman reviews recently, and sometimes I think they missed the mark. And I hope to bring a lot to the table more than just policy. There's generally just a lack of transparency among headmans, and I wanted to be more transparent. I wanted to push that kind of culture, and I want more admins around on HiPop. That is all.
It's good. Good response. Thank you so much, Ducks. We'll move on to CMDR Gugnir.
So the main reason why I chose to run was because I saw, not just this term, but just in general, a lot of cases where you'd see something interesting happen, and people were generally fine with it. Still noted, still banned, headmans don't overturn it. Same with policy. An opportunity for something really interesting to happen, gutted by policy. Not all the time, it's generally pretty good, but I think we could get something better if we, if we had someone dedicated to that mindset. And that's generally my approach to it.
All right. Yes. Would that be everything?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for your responses. We've certainly learned a little bit more about yourselves, and we feel definitely a lot more connected to you guys as we put you guys in our voting. Because remember, everyone here gets voted for. Just the order is what changes. So we'll move on to the next question right here. For our second question today, we will be asking, do you guys have any plans to tackle bureaucracy in TG Station? What are they? And if not, why not? So we'll start off at the top of the list, and we'll start to talk a little bit about bureaucracy today. Stereo, tell us a little bit more about what you think about that. Yes.
Repeat the question again.
Oh, yes, sure. Yeah, sure. I'll reset. So the question again, it will be, do you have any plans to tackle bureaucracy in TG Station? What are they? If not, why not? Go ahead.
Tackling bureaucracy. I feel like the only way to really deal with that is to just completely ignore it and do whatever the fuck you want. If I think something's fucking stupid, just throw it out there, man. Toss it in the can or uplift it on a holy pedestal with which upon it can never be touched again. That is all.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Stereo, for that. We'll move on next to Keith. The question was about bureaucracy and what you want to, here, I'll rephrase it again. Do you have any plans to tackle bureaucracy? What are they? If not, why not? Go ahead.
All right. So first of all, I'm not entirely sure of how everything works behind the scenes, as I am a player. So I think that's going to be the first big hurdle in tackling any bureaucracy. I have no idea what the fuck's going on. The second thing is I feel like bureaucracy is such a big, scary word. The current system we use is so incredibly inefficient, where it's just basically 3 people at the top with 100 people underneath them. Like in my eyes, at least from the out externally, that just doesn't seem like a system that's working. And when I see, ban appeals take like 5 years to do, or policy or whatever, it all just seems a bit shit. So when I actually have a look at how everything works, there might be a plan or two, but I can't really comment in advance. I just don't feel that the current system works very efficiently or well at all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Keith. All right. We'll move on to Nameless.
I have their response.
Okay, cool. Go
Nameless, in
ahead.
response to the question posted before, I responded to a similar question to this last time I ran. I don't think the level of bureaucracy that headmans have to face is of any concern. Thus, I do not think it needs to be reduced. I think the amount of bureaucracy that some headmans have made it out as is a bit of an over-exaggeration, followed by cat emoji. It's written out.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nameless, for talking to us about your view on that. We'll move it on to Ian. Ian, tell us a little bit more.
I guess I don't have any particular plans towards reducing bureaucracy. I think it's pretty much what most of the job is, and we all sort of know that and accept that in applying for this position. I think there was a candidate question maybe along similar lines. There's the possibility of setting up a council, maybe of GMs or of other admins that could either rule on appeals and things like that or report back to headmins. So if there was interest amongst the rest of the team to look into such things, I wouldn't be against it, but I don't think I'm necessarily pushing in that direction. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that response. Timber, move on to you next.
Thanks. I think generally there's a heck of a lot of bureaucracy, especially with admin team responses to appeals and complaints being like major examples of bureaucracy just grinding everything to a halt while decisions are made. But that's kind of just a necessary evil. My plan is simply to mitigate it, very similar to how I did last time I was headman, being active in complaints, appeals, policy within the community. Basically showing helping guide people through appeals, through complaints, telling people what they need to tell me in order for the headman team to make a quick ruling. Sort of cure what the core issue is, which is where appeals just don't get resolved because nobody's there guiding them. And hopefully at the end of it, it doesn't actually have to go to the headmans. Everyone's just happy.
Awesome. Good. I really appreciate you guys making your responses short and sweet. Very good. Move on next to Rave Radberry.
So I've actually done my part to increase bureaucracy just a little bit by having to have a streaming team to oversee whether or not streaming is something that's like, breaking rules and causing problems, and having to have somebody assigned to deal with that. That's an increase in bureaucracy. And so what I can do, aside from something, brilliant and hands-on like Timberpose just discussed, and he does a lot of, is just do my part to try and keep more bureaucracy from happening, or to at least make sure that the bureaucracy that we're installing is being done for big gains. Like I just did the community, survey or satisfaction survey earlier, and I asked a question that was kind of in regards to mentors, and a lot of people said that they felt like their mechanics questions were being answered by admins currently. So like I would want to stand against things like mentors and other such kind of overhead situations that didn't really seem to be solving a problem that we need solving. And that's it. Thank you.
It's a good response. Thank you so much, Rave. All right, we'll move on next to I Wish for Ducks. Go ahead, bud.
Yo. Okay, so my platform directly addresses bureaucracy. I think it's ridiculous that all 3 headmans have to butt heads for pretty much every single ban appeal, because there's no reason for a player not to request headmans. Timber did this Timber tackled appeals independently during their term. I really like that. I think single individual headmen should be able to just handle ban appeals and like help them through that process. And like only important ban appeals should have all 3 headmen come together.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dux. And we'll finally move on to CMDR Gugnir. Tell us a little bit about that bureaucracy.
Well, I feel like a bit of a bureaucracy comes in with the inactive admins who might, or not necessarily inactive, but admins who step down, needing to reapply, yada yada. The hiatus role would help fix that. Just hey, I'm taking a 3-month break. Then they can play as a player for a bit, recover from their burnout of adminning, and then they're good to go back in. Another thing that I think would help with the actually no, I lost that train of thought. Sorry. That's it.
All right.
I trusted my brain. I should not have.
It's all good. Thank you so much for that response. We always love to hear from, especially our player candidates. Let's see. So moving on, we have our next question. Yeah, this will be our last question before we go to
last
debates,
question.
right? Yeah. So this will be one more question before we go to debates. And this is a good one. I really, really like this one a lot because we could talk a little bit more about what you guys actually want to change in the community. So, Stereo, you're gonna be going first, but I'll say the question right here, and I'll say it slowly. What changes would you like to see from the community itself? And Chess, I hope you don't mind, but I want to add a little more. It's like, and
Go
what
ahead.
would you do to get that change? What would you do to get that change as headman? So we'll start off with Stereo, and we want to talk about what changes you would want to see in the community. Go ahead.
Oh man. Oh, I just had it. Changes in the community. Man, the rules, they're in like 4 different fucking places. When I was an admin, they were in fucking 5. The fucking can't find it in the headman rulings on policy discussion, ban appeals, get fucked telebread. On the wiki, sometimes I have to check fucking bus just to find a link, and sometimes I didn't find there. Then I have to ping somebody who did know. And we really just need all the rules in one fucking place. It's so dumb that they're not. Oh my god.
All right.
Lost
I
myself
think we
there.
can mark off any candidate gets tilted on the bingo sheet.
Stereo, are you? Do you have anything else you would like to add?
I definitely want to keep very open communication paths with admins, especially new admins coming in, because I was really fucking confused when I was coming in. The first thing I was taught in my admin candidacy was how to vor someone. Like, man, that was like a total culture shock for me. Like coming in, I was like, really, this is where we're going? All right.
10 seconds.
Set expectations. Let people know what they should expect going forward. Thank you very much. This is Dario.
Awesome. Thank you, Stereo.
Thank you for calling
wait,
at the time.
Yeah. I gave a little pause just for there, but let's not try to pause our thoughts. But thank you so much, Stereo. Keith, we'll move on to you.
Hello. Yeah, so one of the things I think that needs to be changed in this community is transparency. I feel like it's very easy for the head admins to forget that although they might be representing a lot in internal channels, there's absolutely nothing going on in external channels to make the players aware of what they're doing. I think a good idea for this would maybe be to have a monthly report or something where the head admins can write, this month we did this, this, and this, and this. Just a way to let the community know that, hey, we're actually doing this for you. Because other than that, like, we don't fucking know what they do. We look at this shit and it's like, it doesn't seem like they've done anything for 6 months. Then 6 months later, it's like fucking, nothing's happened, it feels like. And yeah. And another thing I really want to do is just clear up the policy shit. Because, or like all the rules that have come from policy, because that shit is just, it's not straight at all. It's completely messed up. You're looking for some obscure ruling that happened like 80 years ago, and you just can't find it because it's so obtusely done.
10 seconds.
Cool, that's it. Thank you.
Lovely.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's see. think next we have Nameless, I believe.
If they have
Nameless.
a question.
Yes, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. We'll round back to you as well. The question is, and I'll say it at the top of the order all the time, Nameless, so don't forget. The question is going to be, sorry, what changes would you like to see from the community itself? And it's more so like, what kind of changes would you like to make in the community? So we'll round it back to you, Nameless, here in a second. Ian, let's hear your response to that. 70 seconds.
I guess I'm, again, more sort of playing in neutral. I kind of like where we are. From my point of view, I joined in 2019 into what was Terry at the time, and it certainly wasn't quite what I wanted back then, shall we say. I think we've come a fair distance in 2 years, so I'm a lot happier with where we are and sort of want to keep it around the same, really. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
I
Ian. You
have something from Nameless to speak about. Nameless, in response to the previous question, says, I'd like to see less server tribalism. It's something I tried for admin specifically during my term, and I think it overall turned out well. Unfortunately, I don't think it's something I can really affect on the player side. There will always be players who express server tribalism, but I don't think it's something we can enforce against as an admin. So there's not a specific change that I would make myself at present.
Thank you, Nameless. Yeah, that's good issue to talk about. Moving on. We have Timber Pose next. Timber Pose.
So community change wise, I like the idea of the headman blog. That's cool. Let's do it. Let's unfuck the ass that is the headman rulings page, seeing what's still necessary, what's covered by new and old rule changes. There's just too many fucking rules in general, but that's probably impossible for like a single headman to meaningfully impact. I want to see like nicer help tickets, faster headman response times, and better looking admins. Basically, just everything needs to be better.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Next, I believe we have Rave Radberry.
More players. More players. If I could change something about the community, more players. We don't have an MRP2 because we don't have enough players. We don't have a second Terry because we don't have enough players. We don't have an American marathon server because we don't have enough players. We need more players. I think everybody's aware that like there's a kind of lifespan to this game. Obviously, some of us are like tried and true, like dyed in the wool, like gonna stick around for our various like reasons, friends, community, project, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, we just need more players, and everything else we can fucking work on with this influx of new players. Think about all the fantastic people who came here on Seth Tide. How many headman candidates right now came in on Seth Tide? We need more players. That's what needs to be changed in the community. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rave. Moving on next, we have Ducks. Go ahead, Ducks.
One of the things I hate about, well, I guess in the admin community is that there's this like anti-transparency kind of deal. Like you're not allowed to post opinions too much. Like when I first became an admin, one of the first things I was told was to stop peanut posting. And I feel like if you share an opinion that goes against the ruling or something, you get like daggers just like stared right at you. And I always hated that.
Didn't necessarily answer the community question, but okay.
Yeah, was there anything else you'd like to add, Ducks, at all to that?
Oh, I think that kind of feeds into this like fuck the Janies mindset because people are just missing out on that transparency from admins.
Okay, it's good. Good response. Thank you so much, Ducks. I appreciate that. I too enjoy reading the peanut threads on the forums personally. CMD Gungnir, what would you like to see changes from the community, and what would you like to change yourself?
I think for the most part, the community is in a good spot. People are generally very polite, very friendly. I think having would the mention of like where policy and stuff is located be considered community? Because like the wiki and stuff isn't necessarily the admin side of thing.
That's fair. Yeah. Anything you would like to change?
I'd like to see old headmin policy changes and stuff, all that kind of thing. The important ones put alongside the rules. We've got rules. We've got roleplay rules. We should have, the section that's a very concise, clear, easy to read of all the important policy thing. I think just an important thing on both sides, player and admin, is to remember that all of us are here with most of all of us are here with the best interests of the server and community at heart. We're not enemies who, should be
10
hating each
seconds.
other. We're all trying to do the same thing. If we just sit down and talk, I genuinely think we can resolve most issues.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And that will take us to the end. Perfect timing as well. That will take us to the end of our starting questions right here. So we'll be moving on to the debates. So the method for the debates that we were talking about today is we are going to be doing, I believe, I'm going to say like 5 to 6 minutes right there. I'll just say 6 minutes so that we have enough time. So it'll be 6 minutes until every candidate talks. Chess, I don't think everyone's going to be able to talk, but hopefully we'll see if they can be
We
able to.
We can adjust as necessary.
Yeah. So I would say to everyone, please keep it short and sweet. Try not to utilize all the time as well. We'll be cracking down on wordliness as well, but those who are able to keep their responses short, sweet, and very proactive, those are the people who are going to thrive in this environment right here. Forgive me, Nameless. This might not be the best format, but we'll definitely try to make sure that Nameless gets some talk here as well to make sure that the people who are typing are not overpowered as well. So talk with Chess, and Chess will debate on your behalf. So all right. So we'll be starting off with a question today as well. Chess, how can we make this fair, just so that we have somebody starting off? Do we just want to have first person, or what do you think?
Let's go from the bottom up for this
We'll
one.
go from the bottom up for this one. Okay, I gotcha. So
Yeah.
we can start off. You can pass as well. So we'll do bottom up, and then anyone else will be able to respond as well. But we'll keep a good faith, and me and Chess will hand it over to somebody else as well. So
If you have something to say, just
yeah, just it's debate. It is a debate. You can start talking. Just do it in good faith as well. But don't talk over anybody as well. But at the same time, don't be too wordy. So all right. We'll start off at the bottom of the list right now, and Chess has handed me the first debate question. So we're gonna be going on for about 45 minutes. So we'll be going to, I'd say, about 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, which is 45 minutes from now. So that's 48 minutes in total. So starting off with our first question handed to me by Chess, we will be talking about regarding your platform. So this will be going to you, Gugnir, in a second. Regarding your platform, are you prepared to pursue your goals even if you don't win? What steps have you taken to ensure that? So this we go to you, Gumnir, talk about it, and then anybody can respond afterwards.
Very funny question to go to me first, because as a player, there's not exactly a lot I can do to dictate on policy or ban appeals or internal admin conduct. Most of my platform was hey, this is generally my view on things, and that's the approach I'm going to take in these 3 areas. Bit of a hard question for me to start with, but I guess I'll, I'll keep raising my voice in peanut threads for the ban appeal front. I'll keep raising my voice in policy threads, and I don't know. I guess
pass
just
this-
suggest my.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were done
I
there.
was just gonna say I'll just suggest my little hiatus thing on as far as internal stuff goes to the new headman.
Yeah, I'll pass this off to Rave, who's
Hi.
the exact opposite.
Yeah, so I've been working on my plans for like 2 years now, about 2 years, around 2 years. If I don't get Headman, it's not going to stop. Go onto Steam right now and download SS14 and get on the beta. Get ready to have the TG Station SS14 server set up by Wriggle, being run by Wriggle. It's going to come out soon. He's doing a lot of work behind the scenes. Wriggle is amazing. Wriggle is fantastic. We're going to do this. I've been doing it. It's going to keep on going. Like and subscribe, community YouTubes and Twitch accounts. Let's get numbers up and get eyes out there, guys. Thank you. I'm done.
Does anyone have anything to say about that?
I mean, I definitely agree that effectively a lot of people have already been pursuing what effectively is in their platforms within the community, and I'm doing exactly the same, especially on the forums and in the Discord admin channels. For me, I'll continue to keep doing exactly what I've been doing. Just if I don't get headman, there'll be less influence than if I was one of the 3 votes. So it's harder to initiate change when you're not the system, but it is possible.
You bring
So
up
we-
an interesting point about the system.
Yes. Does anyone have anything to add?
Man, fuck the system. Okay, so when I was raised up as an admin, because here's my platform. My platform is I will do whatever the fuck I want, and I'm gonna do that because when I was coming up as an admin, I had this demented impression to try to integrate with the team, and that was fucking dumb. It left me disillusioned. I was confused. I had no fucking idea what I was doing. And now that I am here, what I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. Fucking call people a moron. Tell people, hey, kill that motherfucker. Who gives a shit? I don't give a fuck if my mic is redlining. Turn me down. And what I'm going to do, because this realization crept upon me very recently, within the past few months, shortly after I retired. So yeah, very, very recently. And instead of just like doing what I think I should be doing compared to other people, trying to fit into the system, I'm just going to carve out my own little corner of Sybil, for instance. I don't give a fuck. I'm just going to do shit. If I think something's fucking stupid or if I think it's really fucking based, I'm just going to let it happen or I'm going to ban the retard who decided to do that.
Would anybody like to add anything else?
Incredibly
Base.
passionate. Can
Could
anyone
I quickly speak up about something that Stereo said? I think he brings up a very good point. When we're speaking about head admins and stuff, all wanting to be like one big blob, I feel like it really reflects like that, at least to the players.
Microphone,
You know,
Keith.
oh, sorry, what's wrong with it?
Yeah, just a little feedback.
Sorry, took a second.
Too close.
Put it a little bit close to your
Sec.
face there, bud.
There goes.
Yeah, you're good.
Is
Yeah,
that
you're
good?
better now. Yeah.
Okay. Right, so what I'm saying, so all the admins, when you look at all the admins, they're all like one big homogeneous force. Even if you look at all the head admins, there are literally no fucking appeals where it's like one accept, 2 deny. Okay, no, it's never like that shit. It's always like all 3 accept. And all 3 of them have the same opinion on it. And it's all so uniform. When you look at our maintainer team, for example, they're all fucking different. They all have completely different ideas. And I think that works really well. And I'm really fucking tired of seeing 3 head admins comment on something and all just have the same opinion. Like the exact same opinion. It's really tiring.
Does
I,
anyone
uh,
else? Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I fully agree with Keith on that front. The very first thing I did when I was headman elect this time last year, I was dragged into to a ban appeal that that was involving Keith. And the very first thing I did was I disagreed with the 2 existing headmans and put my dissenting opinion down. I did that a couple of times during my term as well. I think it's very important that each headman retains that level of individuality. So yeah, I fully agree with that on Keith's platform.
Christmas or sorry, Nameless or Ian? Do you either of you have a thought about that? Picking on you two, 'cause you haven't said anything yet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I had too much to add in terms of following my platform and the goals because my platform isn't particularly much more than doing the job, and what I do anyway is log on to Terry and just admin a whole bunch. So I would just go back to doing that, really.
It's fair. Christmas says, I've not really got any thoughts. I have a cat brain.
Understandable. All right. Anything else? We have about 1 minute left. Would there be anything else you guys want to add?
I'd just like to say that I am also inclined to agree with that general approach of we need to. Not need to. It's not necessarily a good thing to have everyone always in agreement about everything at all times. Dissenting voices are good to offer alternate opinions and perspectives that other people might not realize. I think we should all be able to be mature enough to not agree with each other, but still acknowledge that everyone's got the best interests and try to find that either a compromise or just the ability to say, hey, I don't agree with this, even if the other 2 do, and that's the vote that goes through. And to not have that seen as a dissenting team, a bad sign. I think it's a good thing.
All right.
All right. I think so. Rave brought this up earlier, and I think it would be smart to move on to this discussion next, which is how can we support TG's future the best? Is Space Station 14 a valid choice going forward? I know a few of you have opinions about this. We'll be starting the timer now. If anyone has any thoughts on that.
I think this is a hard question because when we're looking to the future, we have to decide what future we want to carve out for ourselves. We can't act as if SS14 is the only thing to ever exist. I know that at least Mothblock spoke about Open Dream, which is the next evolution of the Dream Maker, and I feel like we should consider all options instead of just hopping on SS14, for example, because something like Dream Maker could be a much easier option where we can just port our whole code base there, or the new advanced one that is. And I think there's just so many options that we have to be careful because if we invest too much in the wrong thing, it could really backfire. But I think that we should definitely be moving forward in some sense and definitely looking at different options. We just need to be a bit careful because there's just so many of them and we don't know what's going to become big.
But there's
Thank you.
a reason we need to do SS14,
Brave, yeah.
and it's been demonstrated. If you take a look at the link I'm posted in chat, it is predicted that in 21 days, SS14's user base is going to eclipse and exceed our own. This isn't something that we should really be wasting time on. And if you want to hem and haw over like what has potential and what we should be making moves on, you really should be like informed about it coming into this discussion, because it's something that I've been talking about for about a year now. Like, you need to have your eyes open. You need to know where SS3D is. You need to know where Open Dream is. You need to know what's going on with Unity Station. And so we need to hop on SS14. This is not a debate. And this isn't because we need to jump ship to SS14 now. This is because we need to have our foot in that door so that when people say, I've heard about TG Station, there's something they can search up on SS14 and it can redirect to the greater community until we reach a point of acceptable code parity where we would even consider moving into another code base or project entirely. Thank you.
Incredibly impassioned.
Can I respond?
Yes.
That cool?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Well, Rafe, and I mean, when we're looking at it that way, sure, SS14 does have a larger player base. SS14 is growing, but I don't think you can really sit there and go SS14 has the same player base as SS13. They are two completely different games, essentially. And sure, it's based on this, but it's kind of like when you look at a lot of people who play like CS:GO. You know, people don't fucking go back to CS 1.6. That's still got a really active community, but it's fucking tiny. It's the thing I'm most afraid of is if we start moving towards SS14, we'll abandon SS13 or we'll move away from this. And I think SS13 is the way forward. And I feel like we need to kind of diversify what we're doing here or try to maybe move to a new engine here or do something with the current thing because I do not feel that our player base is necessarily an SS14 player base.
It's kind of elitist to turn other people away because they're playing a game that's one number different from ours.
Dude, fuck SS13, fuck Beyond, fuck Dream. The second
There we
SS14 is even remotely comparable to SS13, I'm fucking out of here. I'm jumping ship to 14. This shit looks like it should give me malware.
Does anyone else feel as impassioned?
Yes, anyone who's not talked. Does anyone else?
But it's if or will it get there is the thing. I mean, it's the same with all of the options, is how far are they from achieving their goal? Will they get there? Because we certainly don't want to spend time on something that bottoms out and doesn't reach its goal. But I think Rave makes some compelling case for looking at SS14.
In my opinion, fuck SS14. I'm putting all my eggs in the SS15 basket. It's the future, and that's what I'm going for. Maybe on a more controversial opinion, but I will basically just follow the coding team. Where like you can rant and rave about like where all the players are, but ultimately, I want to go where the content is. I want to go where the community is. I want to go where people are actually making the game fucking better. I want to go where the talent is for making the game better, and wherever the fuck that is exactly where I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it puts forward a very compelling argument. I just want to say that wherever the coders are, that's eventually where the community will probably be because they're the ones who are making the game.
Gugnir, did you want to add anything?
I just wanted to say that I think Rave's got the right idea there. If if a Unity station picks up and starts becoming the big thing, it wouldn't be a bad thing, assuming we've got the personnel to maintain it, to set something up there, set something up in SS14 if that's popping off. It'd be good to have the options available for people. We're all part of one big community, and I don't think which version of the game people want to play should separate them. You wouldn't call us, as someone else said, you wouldn't call us Counter-Strike 1.6 player. Oh, you're not a Counter-Strike player. You don't play Global Offensive.
I mean, Space Station 14 looks cool and all, and I'm interested in it, but like, is Space Station 13 really dead? I don't think it's really dead. I think it still holds a special place in my heart. I mean, it's absolute garbage. It's terrible engine, but I mean, it's fun. I still have fun playing on TG Station.
Do you have fun
That's
playing
right.
TG Station or SS13? Because TG Station can move to 14.
If we don't have anything else to say, I think we're going to move to the next question. I think we got a lot of good opinions out there.
Yes.
I have send it to Citrus here.
Yes. Yeah, we got the next question right here.
We're keeping these spicy.
Yes. That was really spicy. I'm actually, that's the first time we've ever had a discussion about that, so.
It's
I
getting
really
Goofball,
appreciate
not
it.
here to
Oh, yeah.
interrupt everyone.
It's
Now
only
I'm
getting
here.
spicier. Oh, that's it. Call out.
Oh.
Someone
Got
got
him.
call out. Bingo. Bingo.
Bingo! Alright, do you have the next question, Chess, or would you
Yeah,
rather
I just sent it to you in the channel.
in the channel?
Yeah, I'm doing it in the... there.
Oh, okay, there it goes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Sorry, now. This is a good one. All right, so another 6 minutes for this question right here, and we'll give it off to anybody who talks. Our question here today is tiding healthy for the game? How can we encourage / combat it? The floor is open to anybody.
This is such a fucking hard question because some people are really fucking mechanically skilled or gifted, or they have ADD medication that just cracks them out of their fucking minds. I love tiding because the screen that it provides to antagonists, especially on LRP, is just excellent cover to divert station resources who would otherwise be devoted solely to killing them to chasing absolutely fucking useless bullshit that more frequently just encourages conflict between everyone, which is both good and bad, because then you get fucking morons who think, this guy shoved me, I am going to saw his head off with a chainsaw because I am offended. Oh, goodness. And we just need to balance. I think people need to take more consideration into what they are putting into the round when they are tiding. Fucking shoving a medical doctor onto 3 glass tables is so fucking dog shit. Oh my god, shove another tider onto a glass table. They love it. They want to be on that glass table.
Would anyone like to respond?
There's absolutely nothing wrong with what Stereo said there. Like, it is completely spot on. For me, like, tiders are like admin job content, the player job content, and Space Station 13 is absolutely founded on conflict. And tiders bring conflict, and conflict can bring really amazing roleplay. And they give cover for antags to antag. They're advancing the story. It's a lot of player agency in tiding, but they can also make things utterly fucking miserable. So yeah, I mean, ultimately, good tiding is good, bad tiding is bad. I have no opinion on it from like a grandstanding, like sort of soapboxing point. Merely that usually when you look at an appeal or you look at an incident, you'll know when it's good tiding and bad tiding. And I want to get rid of the shitty tiding and make sure the good tiding has like all the good vibes to stay.
Definitely a balance in. I mean, it certainly adds something that goes on and keeps people busy and entertained with something that most of the time plays out lightly. But at the same time, there's definitely this line, and there was a point in Terry's history where security officers would suicide at grand start because it's just a mob outside the front, just breaking in, messing around, and nobody can be bothered to deal with them round after round after round. So you've got to find that middle ground somewhere.
Okay, so in terms of tiding, I think this is a very interesting topic. I'm very pro tiding, so it's a good one for me. And I think the problem with tiding is before I believe there was a genuine case to make, fuck tiders, they're so bad, they're all smelly. That was all in the past. However, with the way that progression trait is coded, I think tiders are necessary to keep the round going. You might wonder, oh, what's wrong with Progression Trader? How does it hamper normal gameplay? At the start of Progression Trader, what I would do as a head of security is I would very easily, like me and some other head of security mains, we would just absolutely be able to completely murder every single antagonist with little to no effort. Why? Because it's fucking stupid. People put a poster up, you scan their prints, they're dead. They put a bug down, you scan their prints, they're dead. They do something slightly stupid, they break a lathe. Someone tells you they're instantly dead. They kill a pet, they're dead. What Tiders do is Tiders now provide something to distract you. If some fat, smelly geezer steals your disabler and runs down the hall shooting you, and you see a Syndicate poster, that's not going to be in the forefront of your mind. That's going to go to the back of your mind, and you're going to be chasing that fat, smelly tider. If someone's planting a bug and you go to the office, there's like 4 other tiders in there, one of them's planting a bug, you might not necessarily notice in the ensuing chaos. I think that although a lot of people don't like tiding, it's absolutely necessary with the new antagonist system for it to function well, because otherwise it would just be the hellscape that it was when Prog Todd first dropped, where it's just people sitting on the camera consoles, waiting for someone to break into the head of security's office or head of personnel's office, and then just watching them place the token so you can valid hunt them. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. Would anyone else want to respond?
I think it's fun. Oh,
Dux, go ahead.
tiding is fun. I just like tiding. I hate it when people use it as an excuse to like robust people and kill them. But like tiding on itself, fun as hell. It gives sec something to do. It gives people in an apartment something to do. It gives assistants something to do. It gives everyone something to do.
Thank you, Dux. Timber, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, so this is kind of like semi-aimed at Keith, but for me, a question I have is like when tiding sort of directly interferes with a player's ability to do their job, like like chemistry players have to deal with like tiders breaking in to make like random chems and shit like that. How robust do you think like the average SS13 player has to be in order to do their job? Like, do you think that every player should be like go through the trial by fire and like sort of gain that permission to be able to do their job without being harassed, or is there like some sort of limit to that?
Okay, well, when you mention that specific example of chemistry, I feel like I need to bring up some other points. Chemists aren't tided by assistants. They're not the number one people tiding them. The number one people tiding chemists are medical doctors making a bunch like fucking 9 million bajillion chems and draining all the dispensers. It's the paramedics making 9 bajillion chems and draining all the dispensers. And it's all kind of like these other medical staff who are the main tiders of chemistry, if you look at it. Or like, same with paramedics and all that. So it's kind of like, here's the issue. If you want a role like chemists to be able to do their job, you have to look at who else is necessary. So let me respond to people in chat. Well, yeah, the pharmacy isn't, but what about every fucking paramedic? There are paramedics on Terry who will break in and drain a fucking dispenser from 100 or 1000 or whatever to 0 in the first like 10 minutes of the game. That is the tiding we should look at. If an assistant breaks in and makes like 10 Saley or something, or like, Oxy or whatever, that it doesn't fucking matter really. Like, that's the thing, and I think conflict like that is fine and we should encourage it. Obviously, I think the current rules are robust enough where if the assistant starts stealing an ID, or if it starts genuinely like harassing and killing the chemist or whatever, we can deal with that. But otherwise, I just don't think that assistants are really the main tiders in a lot of these situations. When I was playing NG not that long ago, the people tiding me, like there were some assistant tiders, sure, but the people I was getting into conflict with were the CE and the Atmos techs. When I was playing.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
We'll give it some time for everyone else as well.
Do we have any final thoughts on that? Anyone else hasn't spoken yet?
Raven, go ahead first.
Yeah, Raven, then Gungnir.
I think Keith's making some great points, especially how tiding is a sort of like organic or like spontaneous RP that's supposed to counterbalance for the current Antag metagame. I don't have a lot of commentary personally on the state of the Antag metagame, but if someone as active in those aspects of the game as Keith is saying that it's something that's necessary, that's something I can totally get behind. I think it gets really hard to track who those problematic people that Keith's talking about are in regards to the people who break in and drain chemistry. Like I think that everybody has like their sort of different line of like how much they're all right with being tided. because like a certain amount of like light theft or like annoyance is okay, but then it like reaches a point where you feel like your round progression is getting disrupted in a way that like you're not exactly open to, which is a whole other discussion, really. But it's kind of just a natural thing. But when you get also to an extent, when you get people who say that their favorite thing to do is to just like fake out sec as being an antag, like, does that really speak to like what the game is like fully capable of? It feels like people should have like a bit more in their rotation than just that, and that's all I gotta say. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Rave. Would
Hold on,
anyone else
Goofball's
want
here.
to talk? Yes, welcome.
CMDR had something to say about
Yeah.
that too.
So my experience is mostly as an MRP player, but I think generally tiding is good in the sense of it's good to have non-antag minor crime. That gives sex something to do so that they're not just Unga must kill the ballads. It gives the antags a shield to hide behind. And it generally adds conflict of a round. When you don't have any conflict, the round gets boring. And when there's, a green shift, I found green shifts are often worse than a fucking midnight sun because you've got the crew bored out of their minds and just griefing everyone. But similarly, I think there comes a point where it becomes too much. There reaches the point where it's almost harassment, where medical's got, like a bunch of bodies dealing with a plasma fire, patients coming in who are still alive, but they've had all their burn medkits stolen. That's not good. Neither is it when the roboticist just wants to do his job, but 6 assistants have decided to break in and make 7 shells and print out their own mod suits. Let the man play his job.
I think that is a good point to be made, and I think we should be moving on to our next question.
Yes.
Bingo for anyone who for everyone who had a candidate shows up late. Please welcome Blue Tark Man,
Yes.
aka
Yes.
I am Goofball.
Hi, Goof. So just to reiterate the rules for the election as well. Oh, yes.
I sent them to him.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you read the rules. No hard cutoffs, Goof. We have a few 3 strikes you're out limit for that as well. So
Right.
But
I am going to note I am on kind of delay audio-wise by like half a second, so I'll do my best on that one, but fair warning.
Okay,
Okay,
that's
it's fine.
Yeah. And we'll start there, and we'll say, and we'll give you in a second to introduce yourself as well, while Chess gives you the next question. So everyone else got 70 seconds to introduce yourself. Introduce yourself to everyone, Goofball, and then Chess will send me the next question for the next debate.
Yep.
Yo, what's up? Back in my day, I used to run for headman a lot, and I'm running for headman again. Vote Goof 2023, year of the Goof.
Okay.
All right.
I got 3 campaign things here.
Mm.
1, we're gonna make the server filthy rich off of the wealth of furries and scalies and what have you. Okay. 2, we're gonna have trial by combat. You're gonna be able to get out of easy bans like non-permas, non-rule 8, all that stuff. You can get out of just normal bans if you beat the admin at the game of your choice. Okay. So, beat him at chess, bam, you're out of your ban, okay? Saves us all a lot of time in the appeals process.
Okay.
1, I also like to put in a fucking, God, sorry, haven't had coffee yet today. I'd like to get some,
10
ban
seconds.
appeal writer people.
Okay.
So that, because half of our players is really bad at writing their appeals. They might be completely innocent, but they just go in there half-cocked and write the worst appeal ever. So basically, we want to have ban appeal lawyers to help them out. And also mentors are pretty cool. That's it, all I got.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Goofball. So we had a start where people kind of gave their platform a little bit. So thank you for giving us your platform. Obviously, you're a little late, so you get to talk about that a little bit. So we appreciate that. Right now, we're in the debate session starts. So for our next question for the debate, we're going to be going for about 20 more minutes right here. So we'll probably have maybe 2 to 3 more questions that we have. So our next question is going to be, what global / roleplay rules need to be enforced far more heavily, and I should also add, or even lightly than it currently is? So we'll open the floor to everyone, and anyone who will want to respond, go ahead.
Don't be a dick. I definitely think that admins are on top of this, but I think we need more because the amount of fucking morons who decide to go the one extra step to be a shit ass. Beat a guy in a crit, you're fine. I sleep. The second you fucking kill him and then toss his corpse under a plant, suddenly I am very interested. I am very keen to understand why his ass is not being dragged to medbay. I think definitely another shitty thing is like sec officers putting people in skirts to humiliate, with the express purpose of trying to humiliate them, not in essence of just putting people in skirts, but with the express purpose of trying to humiliate people. Oh my god, I fucking
say
hate people.
that like falls under Rule 8. Would you agree?
No, that's rule 1. Don't be a fucking dick.
Okay,
Well, yes, but
Nothing is
so-
sexual about putting on a skirt.
All right, cutting you both off. Nameless has something to say. They say, "I will put prisoners in skirts." Period.
Nameless, I am gonna fucking throw a brick at
All
your
right, and
pink
passing
Catman head.
the torch to someone else who wishes to speak and hasn't spoken before.
What's wrong with the skirt?
Nothing's wrong with the skirt.
I always ask.
If there is one rule that rules them all, it's fucking Rule 10, Server Rule 10, losing is part of the game. Your character will frequently die, sometimes without even a possibility of avoiding it. Fucking apply that rule more. That is like one of our best goddamn rules, especially on MRP, doubly on LRP. Sometimes you just freaking die. And I like if you help about it, you send a ticket, I will hear you out. I probably won't do anything about it if it was valid, but I think that Rule 10 like needs to be like a bigger sort of at the forefront of more admins' minds.
Nameless has pinged me with another statement. The secret rule should be used more. I see it almost never used, even for cool and fun stuff.
For the people who don't know what the secret rule is, could somebody like put that in chat or read it out real
The
quick?
secret rule. Do we?
I totally know
yeah,
what
the
the
secret
rule is.
rule is basically if it's funny, then it's funny. There you go. Bam. That's we're all here to have a good time. Bam.
I mean,
There we
it's
fucking go.
the way it's
There it
worded
is.
is everyone has a license to grief to a very limited extent. And admins may handwave even severely antagonistic or rule-breaking behavior if they believe it was ultimately beneficial.
Yeah, it's
Brick
it's
mortar
used,
on his way to destabilize the engine.
It's used an exception. I should note it's definitely an exception to the rule, and
Yeah.
it's used at the discretion of the admin. Would anyone else
If
want
you're
to add
having to
anything?
quote the secret rule, you fucked up.
Indeed, yes,
I-
absolutely.
Yeah, Rule 0 is not something you cite in a
Yeah.
ticket.
Gunneer, go ahead.
On an MRP side, I kind of believe on Rule 8 of the RP rules being an important one of playing a coherent, believable character. I think we see a lot of people whose character gimmick is, oh yeah, my character's a cannibal. I think that's fine. I think it's good as a character gimmick. I don't think you should expect it to be accepted. That should be something you do secretly. I like that a lot more. That's just me. As far as main rules go to help affect everyone, I'm inclined to agree with Tim. Losing is part of a game. Sometimes you just fuck.
RP Rule 8 wouldn't apply to cannibalism. That's an intended game mechanic. We give the Seth access to the morgue for a reason.
Oh, I definitely think people should be able to do it. I just think you should expect to get your ass beat if you're feeding people human flesh.
Right, yeah.
I just want to say that, sadly, I have not a single fucking clue what goes on at Manual. I've tried it a couple times. I keep getting lethaled by Sec. I don't help because I'm sure somehow I deserved it, but Manual and that space is something I need to explain more before I can actually say anything about it.
Well, Christmas Fairy, I'm seeing you're talking about how you want LOC. Part of my platform is we'll be implementing that sort of thing from a server modification standpoint, so we could approach it from there.
Okay, let me quickly pipe in and say I also think Rule 1 isn't enforced enough, but I think it's not enforced enough in a OOC mold kind of way. One of the things that keeps happening, to me at least, because I play a lot of hosts, I kill a lot of antags, I deal with a lot of bad people, I've shotgun their heads off, it's quite fun, whatever. But I think something that's really goofy is they'll always get really angry in OOC, they'll say a bunch of super depraved, deranged shit. They'll do a bunch of threats, they'll make a bunch of accusations, and then next round it's just back to normal. I really think that Rule 1 should be looked at in terms of out of character mold, because if you're molding that hard at the game, you should probably take a little bit of a break, because you can't be in a good mental state if you're having like a mental breakdown when you get killed as an antag.
But has anyone who has not talked yet want to add on? Okay. Would anyone else want to add on anything?
I'd like just one final thing. I'm just going to quote myself. It's something I've said in the past. Is the rules exist to create the best possible chance of a really cool shift of Space Station 13. They don't exist to allow admins to create the most boring interpretation of Space Station 13. And in that respect, like when it comes to rules that are over or under enforced, all I care about is that the rules don't get in the way of roleplay, and the rules don't get in the way of making like a kick-ass shift of Space Station 13.
Awesome. All
I'd
right.
also like to note that admins should really leverage Rule 1 to apply touch grass bans. Basically, you just hit somebody with a 6-hour ban, and you tell them to just go touch grass.
Yeah,
If they're getting really mad at OSC, touch grass. If they're sitting around rolling for Antag 5 days in a row, like without any water breaks, 6-hour touch grass ban, you know what I'm saying?
There are some people I see that play this game way too much and take it way too seriously. So yeah, I agree with Goof.
I've been
We
enjoying
are
playing
at-
TGMC.
We are at our time on that question, and we have a little bit of a whopper for this one. So,
Yes.
Citrus, if you'd like to read this one out before the screaming starts.
All right. Let's see. I think we'll have 2 more questions as well until we move on to community questions. So our next question right here, and I'll read it slowly because it's a quick question. I think we're gonna get a little bit extra time for this one.
We are getting a little extra time.
What changes could Silicons need? I hand the floor the question.
I
Feel
want to
free.
see Silicons acting against the crew more. Acting as Silicons. Acting in accordance with their laws. Fuck Sec. Fuck valid hunting AIs. God, please get an original gimmick. I loved the Silicon that was just like, order received. Fuck you, Sec. Human violence detected. I love that shit. I fucking hate AIs that just call out people who they know are going to fucking die, because that's what happens. I don't care if they are a serial murder boner who has chopped off 15 humans' heads. That motherfucker's human until someone laws it otherwise.
Okay.
Kubios,
so,
that's just them obeying their laws. That's already protected.
Alright, so here's my stance on the subject. Silicon perform a valuable role on the station by allowing a totally different playstyle for players looking for something outside the norm. It's really important that we take this into consideration when designing policy around Silicons.
Big agree with Stereo. Silicons are a third faction. They're not sec aligned. They're not station aligned.
They are Silicon aligned.
They follow their laws. Thank you, Stereo.
I want to give Silicons more room in interpreting laws in bad faith outside of Asimov. Like, I really, really, really dislike when a Silicon comes up with like a really creative way to screw over someone who just uploaded the dumbest, most exploitable, shittiest law, and then the admin team jumps in and goes, "Oh, no, 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 you're not meant to play like that. You're meant to interpret your laws in good faith. Fuck off." Let the Silicon interpret the law however it wants, and if it is a valid interpretation, whether it's good faith or bad faith, I want to let the Silicon run with it, because the best part about playing Silicon is getting dumb fucking laws and just running with it.
More
think we need to
plasma
find
fires.
Somewhere to encourage that amongst Silicons, because I don't see enough of Silicons taking those opportunities, and there are too many Silicons that just default to playing along as part of the crew and part of security, as said, and I'm also part of that. They should be their own neutral thing. They don't care about all this stuff going on around them. It's only their laws that compel them to care about such things.
Okay, I think the Silico policy is really fucking problematic, because every fucking day I'll see some guy like Law 2 do this, and then the fucking Silicon will always be in like general chat, "Oh, I just got a Law 2 to kill a lizard. Come on, guys, that's really bad. I don't want to kill this lizard. I hope no one Law 2s me to stop." Man, don't fucking do that shit. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Or like some antag will be like, "AI Law 2 open vault," and then the AI will be on sec chat, "I'm being Law 2'd to open the vault." Like, why the fuck are you telling people? It's
Have you tried pressing F1 and telling the admins?
Well, this happens with every single silicone. I think it's probably
Yeah,
such
but
a
did you
policy
press F1
because
and
it's an
tell the
annoying.
admins?
Why would I
It-
tell
it's-
the ad?
It's
Timber.
in Silicon. It's in Silicon policy.
Yeah.
If you're a Silicon and you get a command or a law 2 order that you really sort of kind of don't want to do, you can protest about it. You could talk about it in chat. You can hint like, oh, maybe it would be really wonderful if someone didn't order me to do this. And the end result of it is like I fucking hate that clause because you can't help about it because it's in Silicon policy. It's within the rules. I would strike that clause out of Silicon policy. If it came to a policy discussion, I'd get rid of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's what I'm discussing here. That's what I was bringing up. The Silicon policies are fucking stupid. That's not fun for gameplay, and it completely breaks out of the roleplay loop. If you're an antagonist, you're like secretly like, oh, it's Borg, come and open this locker, and then the fucking Borg tells AI and AI tells Sec. Like that's completely stupid. It just doesn't, which makes you want to close the game because you're like, well, what's the fucking point of playing if they're just gonna snitch to Sec, and it's fully enforceable by the rules, and it's fucking stupid.
Silicon policy is a situation that over the last 10 years, every single time we get a new headman term in, they're like, I'm going to rewrite Silicon policy, guys. They just take the existing Silicon policy, scramble it around in a box, and then pop it out as a new order. And then say, this is our new Silicon policy. It'll totally fix all the issues. Newsflash, it fixes none of the issues. We should just get rid of all Silicon policy that doesn't just say follow your laws. And then, rule 1, don't be a dick, handles the rest.
Yeah, Silicon policy is just bloated to all hell. I'm gonna be real honest. I think this is a coding issue in regards to Silicon and their relations with the crew. I think Silicons have to rely on Sec because they're the only people with non-lethals, so they have to rely on Sec to do shit. Their Borgs can't do anything against anyone. Because what, they have flashes? What are they gonna use? Like, everyone has sunglasses these days.
Speaking up for Nameless here, Silicon should be neutral. A lot of the arguments I see about them, making them more neutral is making them more antag-sided. If an antag is trying to kill someone, you kill them and also tell Sec. You play both sides.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Has anyone who's not talked yet like to talk?
I'm very much on the make Silicons not crew aligned side. It's very boring when you have a non-violent antag who gets their every movement called out by the AI. That's not interesting. You've shut down the potential for something to happen. On a meta level, you know there's probably going to eventually be harm from it. But as an AI, you don't know that, and that's not something you should be acting on. I definitely agree on that.
Anyone who hasn't spoken wish to say something? All right. Then I think we're going to close up that debate for now.
We'll go to our last debate question before we move on to the community questions right here. So everyone, please definitely get your questions in mind. I think we're going to be handling this with a hand system so far. I believe so we'll start the requests soon from everybody once we get to the start soon. So please be on the lookout right there as well. We'll do a first in, first out. However, I will say this, the first question will go to me, so be ready. But after that, it'll be free for everyone else afterwards. So I'm stealing that right there. But
Citrus
yes,
is fucked up and evil.
Of course, yes. And I think many of you probably can know what my question will be. So we'll get to there in a second. Starting off, though, we'll have our last question right here, sent to me by Chessify, and it will be, what plans can we put into place to prevent admin burnout? I bring the question to the floor. Anyone can respond.
Well, as part of the Goof 2023 campaign, I've got 2 things in place to reduce admin burnout. A lot of admin burnout comes from having to deal with 4-month-long ban appeals because you banned some guy for 3 days for slipping people into the super matter, and neither you nor the person who you banned will cede any ground in the appeal, and it takes the headman team 4 months to get to your appeal. If we can either just solve this via trial by combat, quick, 20-minute game of CSGO 1v1 or some chess or whatever, bam, situation solved, everybody goes on with their day. Or maybe get some ban appeal moderators in to, try and make some compromise. Something like that, really it's a lot of the burnout comes from just how long everything takes, man. It's you want to ban somebody for a 3-day, fucking slipping people into the super matter as a non-antag. It takes like 4 months in appeals. Like, just cramp that down.
No, fuck that. No, fuck that. I don't think it's so much as how long things take as how much the support that they get from others. I'm not saying that people shut people out, but the worst part about being a fucking admin in the entire 8-10 months, however you want to look at it, depending on how active I was being alone. I spent all of my fucking time, my active time alone. At the worst times, because I'm fucking sitting there, round starts, 4 fucking other admins, deadmen, without saying a word. And that just feels shitty to me. What I want to encourage is an environment where people more proactively check in on each other and support each other. Like, I can only speak for myself. And the things that I like to see is just being available. Something that worked very well for me. I'm not Terry. There's 4 other fucking servers, Wine. Especially on Sybil. This is an issue that comes up and again. Sybilmans drop like fucking flies, and if they don't fucking retire, they just stop adminning until maybe drop in once a week, answer an a DM, an a help. Spamming I'm wrapping up.
Water, calm down, maybe a little.
I am wrapping up.
Keep it respectful, Stereo. Keep it respectful.
Yes. But what I want to encourage, and I want to put myself out there, and I want to encourage other people to put themselves out there and be more active in supporting each other. Just being available. That's all people need, and showing up. Because asking for help on bus, that's not the same. That does not give you the support that you need in the long run. Thank you. I'm sorry.
It's so true. Like, oh my god, like there's just no admins on. Like, I was constantly adminning alone in my trial period. There's just no one else. I had to like ask everything in bus because that was the only way I could get second opinions on things. And as Stereo said, it's just not the same thing because like you need to see other admins doing other things and like figure out what the hell you're doing.
Something we could ask the code base for is a synced server ASA, or maybe syncing ASA with the Discord. But that's for another time.
Bingo, boys.
Code.
Hey,
Code. Go
Hey,
ahead.
you can't pretend that all solutions can be solved purely from the admin standpoint. Okay, sometimes you want to get some code muscle in there.
To Keith.
So I'm friends with a lot of retired admins, and I've spoken to them a lot, especially about their experiences adminning and what they thought like kind of pushed them out. And quite a few of them were pushed out by, it's hurtful to say, by the community, because a lot of the time the community is just super fucking toxic. It helps in conversations, in all of that thing. And I believe that this is honestly a two-way street, though. Like back in the day, we used to have people like Sticky who would come on, rile up the server, mute OOC, do all this shit, like be really, really, really toxic, and then fuck off for like the whole, 9 months or something. And then the players will go, wait a minute, these fucking admins suck. They're really rude to us. They're dickheads. Their idea of an event is spawning a crate of SM spiders and going, don't open it. And if you open it, you get banned. Like, shit like that really, really negatively impacted a lot of players' opinion on the admin team. But it obviously isn't every single admin. The same way it's not every single player being toxic. But we have to think of this two-way street and how one action influences the other, and these memories, they stay for a long time and they don't just fade away.
For me, like beyond just like recruiting more admins, draining the swamp of inactive admins, all that bollocks. As a headman, what I learned during my term was that you've got to take responsibility for stuff. You've got to give guidance to the admins. You've got to show them that you're there and that you've got their back, and that any decision they make has your support. Of course, if the decision's well-founded, that is, and quite a lot of them were. And you've got to own the advice you give to the admins so that they can go into an appeal knowing you've told them something and they can fucking rely on it. You've got to be a goddamn leader. During my term, there was a particularly interesting ticket that I bore witness to between 2 people who are in this chat, and I won't name them, but I jumped on as a head admin and I told that player to back the fuck off, leave my admin alone, because they were being a cunt about things. That's what you do as a headman. You just get in there and you get shit done because you're a goddamn leader. And I think that that's something that gets lost a lot between all this like headman unity and hiding behind the headman veil and stuff, is that you are in the fucking community spotlight. Get out there, take the focus, draw it on yourself, and make the goddamn admin team happy.
Would anybody who's not talked yet like to interject?
I think the two biggest things, I mean, this has kind of already been covered, but the two biggest things that I see contribute to admin burnout are adminning too much, and then just being corroded by toxicity. For those of you who go on the forums know, peanut threads can end up frequently just being with somebody getting dragged. And actually, at the start of this event, we all proceeded to publicly drag an admin. So, like, I would say that's the kind of stuff that contributes to burnout. I would say that, like, amazing people like Scriptus, who you look at the amount of time that he did during his first adminship, and he blew everybody else out of the water. And then one day he comes in and he says, it's just like, it's a bridge too far. It's too much. I got to go out. Like, Scriptus, in my opinion, could have maybe lasted longer if he had more support and maybe some pacing as well. But I think that Dux and Stereo have a great idea of kind of like trying to encourage people to buddy up so people feel less pressured in situations so that they can feel like they're having a better time. I've been doing my part to try and help what I can with the forums being a toxic place, with peanut threads that get out of hand. It's kind of tough all around because at the end of the day, the community should be able to express problems that they're having with the administration team and with specific admins in the way that they're performing and how they feel that they do things. But there seems to be a bit of a disconnect between like what amount of it is healthy, like necessary criticism and feedback, and like what is just kind of like piling on and having a laugh, and how that affects like the other people involved. And I say that goes both ways on peanut threads, and I found peanut threads to be a bit concerning in that regard for a while because of it.
Dude,
And
fuck
anyone
peanut threads.
who hasn't spoken yet, if want to speak up before we move on to more community questions.
Yeah.
Yep.
Something I mentioned in one of the debate threads on the forums was the idea, and I've mentioned it also previously in this debate, is the idea of a hiatus role for admins. I got this idea speaking with a former retired admin who noticed that one of the biggest issues is burnout. You'll often see a case where, a ticket or a ban appeal went wrong, and then very shortly afterwards they retire. But it wasn't necessarily wrong enough that they were, pressured into it. It was very clear that burnout led to that decision, and then they just didn't feel like they wanted to keep going. The hiatus role would ideally make an admin who's starting to feel more burnt out more comfortable being ready to just take that time away. They can spend a bit of time as a player without feeling an obligation. Okay, nameless is informed me it's already a thing. I think
Yeah,
having
that's
it as
what's
a
retiring.
formal role, would be a lot more pleasant because it's then you don't feel like you have that obligation to have to do anything. But at the same time, retiring, even if that's treated as the hiatus, still feels like such a bigger deal. Being able to just say, hey, I want to take a couple month break. I'm just going to play as a player for a bit and not have to feel any obligation, not have to feel such a strong word as retire might make some admins who are feeling that burnout more likely to take that time off if they need.
Yeah,
I just want to jump in.
All right, go ahead, Stereo, and then
that-
Wend.
Yeah.
Real quick, Stereo, then Wend.
That already exists. You can retire, and then I think you have like 2 weeks, and you can just unretire immediately. Omega does it all the time.
So
Well, hold on.
no.
There's one more
Okay,
thing
okay,
I gotta
we're
add.
ending
We're
here.
ending
We're
there.
ending
Okay,
here.
yeah, and I want to add as well.
That's really dumb. All right, whatever. Go on. Go to the stupid
it's
community
60.
questions. They're gonna ask about fucking Chungus or
Mhm.
that
All right.
dog.
All right, go. Thank you very much for that input.
Just chill out for a bit.
Yeah, I wanted to add something as well. So I just want to say, like, yes, it is true. And again, if you're non-admin, then it's something to consider as well. But yeah, there already is that type of interplay right there between people who kind of go off for a little bit. So that's good. Thank you everyone who talked so far, and that is the end of the formal debates that we have right there. So we are going to be moving on to the community questions here in a second. So for the community questions, we're going to be doing the hand system. So you guys have probably gotten the request to speak system, and we will be enabling that right now. So if you guys want to raise your hands,
Oh boy,
make sure
That's
you
a
guys
lot
have
of
good
I'm
questions.
raising my hand real quick.
Yeah. First
Yeah,
I got a
question.
question
Oh,
for the
yeah.
community.
Sorry. No. Sorry, script. Just give us 1 second right there. But I did want to say that I will be getting the first question for myself because I get to steal it. And again, I feel a need to talk about this as well, just for the health of the community. I'll meet you afterwards. Thank you so much, Scriptus. But for that, so I do want to talk a little bit about something that is very important to myself personally as well, and I've talked about it a lot. So we talk about events a lot here. We talk a lot about people who do these types of events. There's there's the summer ball, the winter ball, and those haven't been done in a little while. But we did do the winter ball last time, and then there's the toolbox tournament, and then there's other things as well. And the thing about it is many of you guys have probably seen me talk about this on the forums. Many of you guys have seen me go on about this, and I haven't really tried to particularly push this, but I feel like the last headmans that we've had have not properly pushed this issue. And that's everyone, including even myself to an extent. Whenever I was headman, I feel like the interplay, there was no established events lead role. It's all been outside of the realm of headmans. And I just want to know, is there anything that you would want to do about events? It's like events itself. Is there anything that you want to establish, or would that be something that you want to stay away from? I give it to the floor, and I would like to say anyone who would like to talk
First.
so far.
First. Dibs! This is mine, motherfuckers.
Are you on meth?
Hurry up, Stereo.
No.
Yeah.
I have so many things wrong with me. I would love to see more community events, and I think this is something that I can easily organize myself because I love people. I love listening to people talk. I love hearing what people have to say. I love people if they fucking throw an egg at my head and call me shit ass. I just love to hear people talk, and I think more that open communication between the community, head admins, the people who listen in. I think this is very important. Just so much that they feel that they are heard. Oh, fuck you, Smithers, piece of shit ass. And I love Toolbox Tournament. I've been in the I can't remember two. Goldfish brand. I want to see more Toolbox Tournament. I want to organize with people who have that experience because, quite frankly, I am technically incompetent. I reach out to people who know more than me very often because I don't know a lot. I deal with people. That's something I'm good at.
For me, a big thing.
Sorry. Just as a note before we continue, we're going to be going speed round on this, so just say what you need to say without much fluff. Back to you.
Okay. Easy enough, right? For me, a big thing is, as a headman, you've got a shit ton of buttons. You've got all the buttons on Discord, you've got all the buttons on the forums, you've got all the buttons in game, message of the day, fucking millions of ways to reach out into the community and advertise events, advertise that we need people to help with events, doing all of that like fucking communication shit that other people do not have the buttons for. And as a headman, it's like, for me, it's vital that you have that communication with the events team at some point, and you have that open ear so that if they need you to communicate with the community as a whole, you fucking do it.
Agree with Timberpose. We also need to have a calendar set up that takes into account like the standard American academic calendar, because I see a lot of times we'll try and get events going and then we'll have to discuss like finals, and people will have to pull out of like working on the event because of finals. Like I think we could pull off 4 events a year if somebody just like really sat down and tried to bang out a reasonable calendar, just so that way when everybody is up with an event and everyone's kind of like exhausted and tired, there's some sort of idea about when the next one should get kickstarted. So that way, if anybody's feeling up to it, they know when to get ready for it. And if we need more people to get in on it, we can. Also, we should formalize event staff. If people are willing to show up for elections, that's it. Thank you.
All right, next.
Okay, let's go ahead and here's what we got to do. One, I agree with that comment about the calendar, but we should really keep in mind the fact that most of our players are underage, and base things around the American school system instead. 2, we should just give the event people all those admin buttons. Like, who cares? What are they gonna do? Abuse it? We already trust admins not to abuse shit like fucking admin Lua. Like, who cares?
All right, next.
Hi. So one thing about events. Events are amazing. However, I don't feel like we advertise them far enough. I feel like there's a lot of downstreams, and I'm 100% sure there are people in those downstreams who are very talented who would be willing to help us with events. We should absolutely advertise, the ability to help with events to everybody, because we get people coming from the downstreams anyway. So we might as well go, hey, do you want to help out? Because they're going to be here.
I'm just gonna speak up because I did this. Yeah, as an event lead, you have like 0 access to anything on the Discord. It was barely possible to get this started. Anyways, next. Anyone want to speak?
I think getting publicity and finding people to run with things is important. I quite like having the 2 different types as well, which is sort of mechanical combat style, which obviously engages with certain people. But I think there's a lot of value to the social one where people just hang out and get to know each other as well.
All right. Anyone else want to say anything?
I mean, yeah, event leads should probably just get more permissions on the Discord in general. Do you even have permissions to talk in Newsbus, or do you have to ask?
I can't.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous. That's so dumb.
Yeah, we should just give them these perms. Like,
I have to get Orange just to do my announcement thing for me, and then Wriggle.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Anyone else have anything else to say?
Just that if we want to see more events, we should look into finding more people who want to help run them, so that all of the busy work's not on you, it's not on Wriggle, it's not on Citrus. Having more people to help would be like more dedicated people to help. I think would go a long way to helping us get more.
Thank you.
We have an events bus, don't we? Why don't we have a public events bus? Because I know there's an events bus that's like locked for admins.
Events bus isn't for admins; it's just for the events team. You can sign up whenever you want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
on the forums, where?
Note that they haven't never allowed a player in there, so it's basically for admins. Anyway.
That is untrue. That is
completely
untrue.
Okay, I'm
really?
sorry. What?
Yes,
no,
very much.
Oh, that's based. All right. Hell
I
yeah.
would like to mention
Incendiary statement.
People who
Shut
are
the
not
fuck up,
admins
Method.
that helped out with this were DACA and Oranges.
Oranges does not count.
People who have helped out with the toolbox were mostly non-admins.
I'm sorry. This is my question. I won't. Yeah. I'll be nice here, but there have been many non-admins that have helped with prior events. Many non-admins that have given the role. There's non-admins that have the event mapper role, that have the event coder role. There's a ton of non-admins.
That's based as fuck.
Thank you. All right, I think I'll end it there. Sorry, I didn't want to moderate my own question. Yeah. All right. Sorry, Scriptus. Scriptus, thank you so much for coming to the stage, and we'll give you the first question of today.
Thank you very much for muting me for about 5 minutes. I really appreciate it.
It was a mistake.
I really love being brought up here just to be sold.
I can do it again. No, I'm kidding. Anyways,
okay. So I gotta ask. Driving me up the wall after I came out of retirement and became an admin trainer. Everybody here's like, oh yeah, we need more admins on Sybil. We gotta get some more admins on Sybil. How are you going to do that? How are you going to get me more admins on my server so that everybody stops burning out? Saying it's like an Amazon redemption.
We're just gonna turn the admin valve to more admins.
Rapid fire.
All right, rapid fire. You guys have 30 seconds to answer.
One of my policies directly answers this. I want when you become an admin candidate, you go around, you shadow admins on their tickets, you figure out what the hell you're doing. The other admin tells you why they're doing what. Like, it's just like when I became an admin, totally just thrown into the deep end. That's all.
Right,
I'm not going to get more admins. But the second a fucking trainer says, hey, I've got a candidate, Sybil, in their prime, I don't give a fuck who they are. All that trainer needs to say is, this guy. And I'll say, fuck yeah, let's go. But actually finding those people is something that it's a huge struggle. I have no fucking idea how we're going to get over it. But if the trainer says anything, I've got a guy. They're in.
All right, Timber.
More players, more admins.
Timber, then Rave.
For me, it's really fucking simple. You, as a headman, you address all the piece of shit, dumb reasons why players don't want to be admins, like all the bureaucracy, all the bullshit, like all the fact that we're held to such stupidly high standards, which we can do with relaxing just a little bit. You take all of the reasons that people don't want to be fucking admins, you address them, deal with them, mitigate them, and then people will actually want to be fucking admins. And then you admin those people.
More players, more admins. It's that easy. We just need to increase the pool by bringing people in.
All right. Anyone else have anything to say about that?
Just, I think you have to go out there and proactively look for people sometimes. Certainly the applications that we get have biases towards certain servers than others.
Very nice. I think if anyone else has something to say.
Has anyone who has not talked yet want to talk? Okay, all right, move on. Thank you, Scriptus.
Scriptus, I hope we I hope they answered your questions.
Yeah. I don't know if this gets rid of Scriptus when we add the next person.
Go sit in the corner for 5 minutes yourself now. You deserve it.
All right. Thank
All right,
you.
good
Thank
eve-
you. All right. Let's see. Next question goes to Nickup, I believe. Nickup, would you like to ask your question?
Yes, good evening. I'll start with this. What are your thoughts on the current headman rulings? Some of them are from 2014. Would you consider going over them, maybe doing a refresh, seeing what needs to be, what can stay, what might want to be deleted, or maybe folding them into the standard rule set? What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think we should get rid of basically all of the silicon policy stuff we've added. And like I said before, just go back to silicon policy is one line, follow your laws, and then just, fall back on the normal rules from there.
All right,
Hiya.
good job. Next.
I was looking through a lot of these rulings quite recently, actually, because I was thinking about putting something like that in my platform, but I kind of went against it because I thought 7 points. 7's a weird number. I'd rather have 6. But so one of the things I felt like could be done with a lot of the policies is they could be compiled into one. Like there would be 3 things that kind of dart around a similar topic, but if you just wrote it out, it could be made into one thing or like one sentence or statement or whatever. And I think if we went through and we compiled a bunch of these, which could put like 6 things into one, or just into smaller. Oh, sorry, it'd be
Yeah,
cool.
you're good.
It's you've got a few seconds after.
Yeah,
like,
you're
don't
good.
worry.
Yeah, you're good. He's just saying that. Yeah, soft time. Okay.
So,
Anyone
it's
else?
soft time.
Yeah.
Headman rulings from like 2014. If we get to the situation where those have to come up, we can just make a call then. If it's fucking stupid, we can move on. Or if server culture has changed from that direction, or we just need a more recent ruling on that, we can just make it. Do we actually need to spend fucking 3 weeks debating something that's really fucking stupid? I don't think so.
All right. Anyone else?
Yeah,
I think looking over them and
Rave, then Ian. Rave, then Ian.
Stereo made a good point about how just going over things that people don't have an opinion on actually contributes to headman burnout. I've been involved in 2 terms, and I've seen the other people in the room just be like, I really don't know if I have an opinion on this, and trying to come up with one at this point just is, because you don't want to do people dirty by making an arbitrary decision for people who like clearly care about it. And you can ask other people for their opinions as well. But really, at the end of the day, it comes down to you, and you have to kind of, figure out what's right. So that in combination with just like the sheer amount. Do it as it comes up. Don't force yourself through it every term. It's a headache. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rave. Ian.
I think looking over headman precedent is a good thing, but I think it's more in terms of whether there's something that's being referenced too much in there. They should be for more sort of niche case rulings rather than main case. And for example, the stuff at the end of a pet ruling that says something along the lines of if you do something that basically is only being done to piss other people off, then you can sort of deal with the consequences of that. And I think that kind of thing fits Rule 1 well, for example, and I occasionally reference that, but I'd be open to other ideas as well.
There are
Anyone else
too
who's
many
not
fucking too many fucking headman rulings. Most of them are like really niche stuff that maybe only come up once or twice a year, but getting rid of them is really difficult because the admins just love having like a solid piece of text to point to in the rules that say don't do this and this is why you don't have to do this. But a lot of them basically just come down to clarifying precedents for like rule 1. So there is room to trim them down, I think.
Can I speak?
Yes, go ahead.
I think it'd be good to move a lot of the more recent ones, because the more recent ones are going to be ones more in tune with the current culture. They're going to be the things that are more likely to come up more often. I think seeing what ones we could move into the main rules would be a good idea. I think moving the precedents to the same rules page on another tab, like we've got security policy and silicon policy, would be a good idea. And I think those older rules that are going to, older precedents are going to be buried very far down the bottom. Should be cases where it's brought up to say, hey, don't do this, but if someone does it, they're not necessarily kicked.
Thank you, Gungnir. Would anyone else want to talk?
I don't see anything wrong with the headman rulings as a concept, just like having it for reference, like that this was a thing, but it's not really part of the rules. I don't see any point to really address it. I'll be real honest.
Okay. Would anyone else who's not talked yet like to talk?
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Nico. But was your question answered?
Yes, sir.
Very nice. All right, get the hell out of here.
Thank you so much. All right, next one I believe is to Dr. Veritas. I believe they can message me. We just brought you to the stage for posterity, so you can message me your question. Okay, cool. And oh wow, okay, this is a long question. I'll say it all. I say it all loud. Okay. Will naming policy ever get fucking reworked or reworded? The fact that unusual first last names or combos are against the rules for most races, but lizards are allowed to name themselves. I'm not going to read that out loud. Makes the abomination Blue Eyes White Dragon or something like that. Meanwhile, you aren't allowed to name yourself something esoteric or weird. Like, you can get noted for having names that admins just find stupid in quotes. Like, for example, I've been noted for simply naming my character Dr. Veritas as medical doctor. Interesting, this is targeted to Ian, which Ian Zero said found stupid and decided to demand I change it with only justification of it's stupid. Okay. Interesting. Meanwhile, I'll give it to Ian first to answer as well, because this seems to be targeted. Yeah,
I believe the argument
but
at the
one second,
time.
I'm not done. Sorry. It says, meanwhile, all lizards are allowed to name themselves something of the most brain damaged things known to man. I'll give it to Ian first. Go ahead.
I would like to just remind everyone that this is not the Ban Appeal subforum.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
The
Yeah.
argument being made at the time was that Doctor was actually their legitimate first name. So what I went in and said was you can have an honorific like Doctor at the start of your name, but you still need a first name and a last name component, because that's what current naming policy is. And their argument was that their first name was literally Doctor, which just didn't sail for me.
Yeah, I don't really care about what pedantic British people have to say about naming policy. Naming policy is fucking stupid. Like, the only name restriction we should have is, don't be a dick. That's it. Don't name yourself something offensive. Boom. There you go.
Hi. Okay, so quickly, here's the thing with naming policy. We might as well make it what enforcement is, right? If we're being realistic, the enforcement is if an admin thinks your name is bad, it's going to be bad. There is no other enforcement pretty much is goofy to pretend there is, because you see some really stupid fucking names get by just because they're friends with the admin or whatever. We should honestly just make the name policy. If an admin thinks it's cool, it's cool. If they don't, change it, because that's what it is, and that's the only thing that it will ever be. As long as we have this fractured enforcement system where everyone enforces the rules their own way. Thank you.
Dude, I don't know how the fuck we're gonna unfuck naming policy. It goes back to just don't name yourself something fucking stupid. And I do, in some ways, agree with Ain that first name Doctor, last name what the fuck ever. That's not a name. And I have specifically targeted Chimpston and Tomman for having stupid fucking names. People you could arguably say are my friends. I think they were named Garlic Toast and Macaroni. But I let Red Lobster live because they weren't a fucking. I had no idea who they were. I just wanted to let Red Lobster live. Free Red Lobster, bros.
Ian's on point. That's all I gotta say.
Naming policy sucks. There is no two ways about it, and there is absolutely no way to square that circle. In changing naming policy, you're going to either fuck over a bunch of people with current names or unlock Pandora's box of total weird, wild, and wacky bullshit names that people are going to get pissed off with. There's no winning move. The only winning move is to just not play.
Just open Pandora's box. Fuck it, man.
Oh, Nameless is about to say something.
Yes, Nameless. What would you like to say?
Nameless says, Fiku Sans Undertale, we're upholding this because you named yourself Sans Undertale.
No, that's bad. That's bad.
No! Make them headmen! Free Nameless!
That's good. I like that.
Alright.
I do think we should have more silly names. I think we should have more silly names.
Alright, we're zooming through this.
Okay.
Let's go. Go, quick.
Well, I want to give it to Ducks here.
I think we should have more silly names. That's pretty much all my entire opinion.
Alright, we have time.
Can I quickly say one more thing really quick?
Yes, go ahead.
Sure.
Quick.
First of all, I think something as well that's really pissed me off is that you can't have someone named Sans Undertale, but if someone's named themselves after the fucking Polish defense minister, that's absolutely fine. That's a-okay, and they can fucking have 2 bajillion rounds with the Polish defense minister name because no one in the enemy team wants to touch them.
Just they help it.
They do know. We have Polish people in the enemy team. They're fucking hard.
He does not know how to press F1. It's okay. Don't bother dashing the name.
Hard stop there. Thank you, Dr. Veritas, for that as well. And I appreciate everyone's insight for that. Moving on to the next question. We have Dongle Splonge. I don't know how to say this name, but
this might be the final one, honestly.
You think? Okay, we'll talk about time. Dongle, go ahead.
Alright, so peep this shit. We got this new RP rule rewrite that just dropped 2 days ago. I want everyone's opinions on how it flows into the game as either an admin, a player, or a titer. Any of the three, doesn't matter, just pick your favorite.
Dude,
Man,
I've got
I
no
don't read
fucking
that
idea.
shit.
Nope,
I just
nope,
play
no,
the
no, no,
game.
no! I'm calling first seas on this.
Excuse me, asshole.
I'm calling it.
All right,
Get
so
you
you
hold
two
the fuck down.
speak afterwards.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways, I'll be honest. I don't actually read the rules whenever we change them. I just play the game like a normal person, and I don't get help that often.
Okay.
Okay.
Stereo, would you like to respond respectfully?
I've been playing too much TGMC to actually read it, and I am still only just getting my feet wet when it comes to playing on Manuel, and my experience playing Manuel has been getting lethaled by SEC officers.
Hey, I looked at this rule. I had a read through, and I think I approached someone in this chat. I think it was Chessify. I think I approached him to ask his opinion on it because I was reading through it, and I think the rule is taking steps in the right direction. My ideal roleplay environment is a server which his main roleplay rule is just being character. We shouldn't have to have a bajillion rules around it. We should, as long as you're playing in character, you should be fine. As long as you have icy reasoning, you should be fine. If there's some rich motherfucker walking around with his gold chain and you go up to them with a kitchen knife and they fucking run and you stab them to death, that should be fine because that's RP.
Time.
Thank you.
All right.
Mhm.
Anyone else?
Yes, anyone has not spoken.
The
Great.
I hate that you have to have a reason for every single thing you do as an antagonist in the new rules. I like that command is respected, and that's about it. That's I think it went in the right direction as a whole, but I still hate that you have to have an explanation for every kill you do. I think if you just let antagonists kill some people sometimes for no reason.
Okay. Thank you, Dux. Rafe.
Our original MRP rule set was pretty much directly lifted from Goon. So it's kind of like we've never had our own unique MRP rule set. And for like the first year, year and a half that I was kind of trying to do boots on the ground with Manuel and help everybody figure out how we were going to be enforcing this rule set that didn't really come from our community. We've been hoping for these kinds of changes. And the people who put together the MRP server, the headmans who did that, probably wanted to have their own rule set.
Time.
And it just didn't come together. Half steps all the time. Glad we have it. Thank you.
Thank you, Rafe. All right. Anyone else is not talking? Timber.
Yep, for me, so of course I fucking love the rules because I was quite a large influence in them. Pretty much the complete rewrite is something I did and then passed on to the current term, and the current term have just improved it and done whatever it is to get it pushed forward. For me, the key thing how I see the rules work is that it just puts roleplay above the rules. Just if you're roleplaying and you're you've got a good fucking reason for doing shit, you can kill people, you can fight people, you can get into conflict, you can do shit. Just have a good fucking roleplay reason for it. And that's effectively what I want to see from it.
All right. Anyone else has not talked yet to like to respond?
I think the expansion of roleplay rule 4 and 6 are particularly good. I do agree with something Borhoppen has mentioned in the forums where it is a little weird when it's, oh, well, I know you're an enemy, you're an infiltrator from another rival corporation, but you haven't done anything, so we're going to let you go. I agree that's a little bit weird, but I like the idea of not just being, oh, well, you're an antag, so execute. And I especially like, it being largely left to security to handle because
Time.
it's. Oh, okay. So,
no, finish up.
No, you good. Yeah, finish yet.
I like the expansion of Rule 4 because it mentions it adds more emphasis on it should be security's job, but definitely mentions that security can ask for help. And I think that's definitely a good thing.
Alrighty. Well, I think we'll end it there for the community questions so far. I really thank you so much to everyone who has added a question. We don't want to go over 2 hours, so I appreciate everyone who's talked so far. So we're gonna end it right here, and we're gonna be doing an outro for every candidate. I really appreciate. Sorry, Stereo. It's getting to about 2 hours, but it's okay. Everyone's gonna get an outro, and they're gonna be able to say what they want to say during the outro. So for the outro, we're going to it's basically gonna be the same thing as the introduction, except everyone is going to get 70 seconds to just kind of bring home everything they said so far as well. So we'll start at the bottom of the list right here, and everyone can give their final thoughts. Please do not go over 70 seconds because we're getting very close to 1 hour. But I will start with Goofball, and you can bring it home and just say anything you want to say for 70 seconds. Go ahead.
So, like, at the end of the day, man, be excellent to each other, all right? That's all you really gotta do. And also, like, free Ukraine, fuck this war. This shit fucking sucks,
Keep
bro.
it on topic.
Fuck you. Anyways, let's fucking
yeah. You want to be respectful, but here I'm taking your freaking time. Don't say fuck me. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, all right, fine. I love you. Anyways, vote Goof 2023. Free Ukraine. Trial by combat or ban appeals is gonna make the ban appeal process way better. Smoke weed every day. Shout out to Simple Flips.
30.
Y'all should consider checking out this new game called Space Station 13. It's fucking great. Get your friends into it. But help and tell them that you're having a friend play the game first so that you don't get banned by the admins for metagaming, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, get your friends into the game. We need more players. It'll be great, okay?
Time.
Also, if your friends are rich furries, get them to donate, please.
All right.
Ducks, go ahead.
What's up? Okay, so my platform and some short words: transparency, faster response times, more admins on High Pop. We need admins to band together, like it's ridiculous. And ERP.
Oh, he said it. Commander Gungnir.
Yeah. In I guess the summary is, I think the best thing we get out of this game is the stories that we create. And I want to see more opportunities for people to create those. I want to see those enhanced. I want to see them. They're the best part. And it's what we should all be striving towards. And yeah, that's basically it.
Good job.
All right.
Rafe?
I've done this twice already. I know how it's done. I know how to do it. I'm bringing more players to the server. That's the big goal. It's a big thing I'm going for. If you were around for my terms, it's going to be more of that. If you weren't around for my terms, I'm sorry. You can look through my history. Everything in this community is documented. All right. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you, Rafe. Timber, go ahead.
Yeah, so if you see me in the community, you like my takes, you like my thoughts, vote for me. If you want to see me handling your appeals instead of certain other candidates, vote for me. And ultimately, this is all pointless. Nothing we say matters. Stereo's spent the past 2 fucking weeks chilling for me, so don't fucking vote for me. Vote for Stereo.
Wow.
Nice.
Thank you, Timber. Ian, go ahead.
To keep it short, having been played for a while, I like Terry, I like where it is, that's where I spend most of my time. I want things to remain pretty much about where we are, and I'm really just offering to put my time and effort into something bigger.
Thank you, Ian. Next, I guess we'll do our Nameless. Does Nameless have anything typed out?
Yep. Nameless says, thanks for reading my posts. Hope a few people vote for me in the election. I'm going to bring about a much-needed increase in pace for the headman's response if I get in. I personally, as Jeshify, will be voting for Nameless Fairy, as I think they're best. Open bracket,
No.
the post, a slug
Hey,
cat
this
flip,
is
close
biased.
bracket.
All right, yeah, no, that is a quote.
That is a quote.
That is a quote.
That is a
Yeah,
quote.
thank you, Nameless. All right, and I don't know why. Okay, Keith, and then Stereo final. So Keith, go ahead. I don't know why order changed. Yeah.
I am first and foremost a player. I will remain a player. I will fight the player's corner. I'll be there for the players, guys, because I know sometimes, we all have our own friendships. We all make metagangs in-game. Sometimes the admins make metagangs outside of the game. We do too. But I will be on your side all the time. So thank you very much for the people who are voting for me now. Thank you for the people who voted for me last year. And I wish everyone else the best of luck in this coming election.
Thank you so much, Keith. I really, you've been very respectful, and I thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
And finally, Stereo.
The point that I definitely want to get across for everybody is to just make an informed decision when you're making your vote. Consider very carefully what the people are saying. Think about their ability to see through what they want to have done actually get done. I am schizophrenic. I have no idea what's going on. If I actually win anything, it will be a miracle unto God. But everyone gets their fair share. Read threads, see what's going on, inform yourself. Vote Timber. Have a nice day. I wish everyone the best of lucks, especially Timber. And Nameless, I think you're pretty cool too. Yeah. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Snort cocaine, don't do that. That is all.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Stereo, for everything today. Certainly a lot of energy.
Can we get like a slow mode on the debate thing?
No. Let this roll. Let this roll.
I would love to add it, but you remember, event leads don't actually have access to anything.
It's all right. I think Discord's Annies. They should be able to take care of it.
So I appreciate it. And then again, this is always a learning process as well. We're always learning. This is the second time we've done this as well. I could not have ever have expected whatever the heck is happening today. But thank you so much to everybody. Thank you to Chess. Thank you to Nameless. And thank you to everybody who has been able to help out with this debate, because this has been a wonderful experience to talk with all you guys right here. And there's just always a lot of crazy things that go on today, so I can never expect what's going to happen. But thank you to all the candidates.
You're a headman, right?
Thank you to all the candidates that have talked.
No, don't slow mode this.
And I guess we'll leave it there. That is the end of the debate.
Yeah.
We can just talk for a little bit, but then we'll end the stage soon.
I'm going to do a little bit of an outro. I'd just like to thank Wriggle, Citrus, all of the admins who are somewhat helping moderate the chat. And of course, all of the candidates. This is a totally for fun thing. And thanks to Oranges for doing the big ad everyone ping for me. And yeah, let's do more of this in the future.
Yep, absolutely. All right.
Maybe.
Yeah, we can just talk. Just open forum right now. And then we're gonna start streaming.
He's streaming.
Start streaming.
Oh, he's streaming Battlefront 2!
He's streaming that.
Yo, let's fucking go!
All right, Citrus.
Yeah, what's up?
Citrus, real shit. Do you think we're gonna get to nail?
Maybe.
Because we're doing that tonight, right?
Yeah, we can do it tonight. That's fine.
Hey, you can't be discussing this here, all right? This is a family-friendly chat, all right?
No. This is an 18+ server. If they want to nail in chat, let's fucking go.
We're probably.
That's still, you need to clearly mark this is not safe for work. The server rule number.
We're progging UConn.
Number 8.
Hold
on.
Seems to be in spoilers, bro.
They don't think they even know what we're talking about.
They don't.
Wait, Dux, have you been doing that the whole time?
I started playing it during the end.
Yeah, you started doing it at the end right there. I don't know what's the fair thing to do here. Do I just end this? I think I
just end it here.
Let's play some Stars Battlefront 2 for a little while.
Let people post questions in chat, man. Let people post questions in chat.
No.
It'd be nice to answer some of the chat questions, but it's just fucking gift spam.
Do I just delete the channel?
Let's argue. Come on, it'll be funny.
No, there's no argument anymore.
Bye
bye. Bye bye.
Bye.